so welcome everybody here to our children's ministry meetings. This is how meetings kind of look right now, which is kind of interesting. I'm learning a lot of things. I have 3 cameras on me right now, so I will try my best to look at all of you. Those in the building, welcome. Those who are watching later, welcome. And those who are on Zoom, welcome. So yeah, I just wanted to open up in a word of prayer and then we can get started. God, thank you so much for today. Thank you for each and every person who is here, watching, listening, in the room live. Jesus, we thank you for each and every one of them and their heart for children's ministry. We thank you for their heart of service. We thank you for that they catch the mission to lead children to become fully devoted followers of Christ. And Jesus, as we pray, as we go over our meeting today and talk about the details of what's to come, Jesus, I just pray that you would give us a heart of grace. I pray that you would give us understanding, wisdom. There's just so much change, and I just pray that you would lead and guide us through that. In Jesus' name, amen. And what we're going to do today, we're just going to go through kind of what is expected of the kids, what's expected of the parents, and what's expected of you volunteers today. So, something I've been trying to get my best to remember is something that Andy Stanley said: be married to the mission, not to the model. So meaning, hold tight to the why and let go a little bit of the how. And it's very hard for me to do that because I am a control freak. I don't like to say those things, but I kind of am. And it's been hard for me to let go of those things, right? So focusing on the mission rather than the model has been something to really kind of guide me through this time. So anyone in the room, what is our mission? Do you remember? Yeah, lead children to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. And I like to stick on the end with their parents because their parents or their guardians are going to be the main influence in their life. So I like to tag that at the end as well. So our mission is the kids. Our mission is to grow a relationship with them, to show God's love to them, and hopefully through our example, they will see how to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. Now, so with the kids in the gospel at the forefronts of our minds, I want to now introduce you to the how that we've been kind of chatting about how to do this coming up in October. So the Remix team and I went to the Board of Elders, and the Board of Elders, they are the core group of leaders here at Deer Run Church. They make a lot of the decisions, and they are a wonderful group of people. And we brought our suggestions to them because obviously we run children's ministry and they really don't. So we brought our suggestions to them, we discussed it, and then they came up with how we are going to lead through COVID. So here is something that here's what they came up with. So as churches, we are asked to abide by the 30% capacity, right? So a board member figured out all of the capacity of our children's room and our children's area, and we were actually very pleasantly surprised with how many kids we can actually have in our spaces. So as of right now, up here, if we do the full 30% capacity in this area upstairs, we can have about 50 people, so in this area, so that would be volunteers and kids included. Downstairs, we can have about 75 people, so that's substantial. And then also in the youth room, they found the capacity was about 30. So we can have quite a bit of children here in our space. Now, they suggested for the first 2 weeks, let's start slow, just so that we can kind of get our bearings about things, and volunteers, if you have questions or if you are not sure about what's going on, that way we can fix those things before we have like everybody back in at 30%. So we're going to start with 30 kids upstairs, 10 volunteers, 30 kids downstairs, 10 volunteers. In the youth room, we're gonna have 20 kids and 4 volunteers. So that's where we're gonna start in October. Just to start under capacity, make sure we got our bearings about things. We're gonna see how the RSVP is going. If the RSVP is full, especially within those first 2 weeks, then we'll know that parents wanna send kids back. So then we will be like raring to go to up the capacity for the last 2 weeks of October. So what that means too is when we're starting small, it may mean that I might not need everybody to be small group leaders at the beginning. But we will need some other positions filled during this time. So we will need people welcoming families into the building with welcome signs, holding doors open, letting people know where to go. Especially those first 2 Sundays, I think we're going to have people bringing parents and kids to their rooms. So that's gonna be a big part of volunteering as well. Handing out hand sanitizer and getting activity bags ready for the next Sunday. So there will be lots of places to volunteer. So if you are the main small group leader of your kids, of the class right now, I would ask that you remain in a small group leader position. And if you are a helper, then I would ask you take one of those positions, like being a welcome crew, doing the hand sanitizer, helping with sanitizing afterwards, stuff like that. And in the end of September, I want to do a little more training because we need to do the whole plan to protect thing and stuff like that as well. So then I will let you know what positions exactly are needed at that time. So any questions about the 30% capacity? Or does that make sense to you guys, kind of where the numbers came from and how it works? Okay. The next thing that is for churches that are mandated is the social distancing and hand sanitizing. So we will need to do social distancing as much as possible. So I think the mandate for children's ministry right now is gonna be elbow bumps and feet fives. So when we do our welcome back video, I'm gonna do a video before October. I'm gonna introduce that on the video to parents and to the kids as well. So we figured out the capacity also for each classroom. So in each classroom, either there will be Velcro dots, so where they can sit, or what I was thinking in some of the smaller classrooms where there's only about 4 kids and 1 leader allowed, I would just tape out squares, basically, which could be their square. Now, I know it will be hard to socially distance children, so that's why I want to put these things in place. That way, if you notice things are getting a little bit too tight, you can be like, hey, go to your spots, and then just kind of, yeah, just kind of go from there. Like I said, I know it's not gonna be easy. I know junior youth and youth have experienced already with their events that it's hard to social distance, and it might. But I think with these things in place, we can show that we are trying our best, and kids will hopefully try their best as well. So the upstairs wing here, where you're sitting right now, we're gonna get rid of all the chairs. We're gonna put it in one of these classrooms. And in here, I'm hoping to put dots on the floor as well. And then this area can be used for games. And I'll have a sign-up sheet every Sunday so that if you want to play a game in here, then you sign up your small group to play a game in here. That way you're not kind of, you won't be in conflict with another small group wanting to use this area. And also you as small group leaders and helpers, you will be with your age of children that you have signed up for and would like to be with. The classes might be a lot smaller, which may be a little bit of a blessing in disguise. So I'm thinking you may even expect probably like 3 kids on a Sunday. So just so you know what to expect a little bit, because with our numbers being so low at the beginning, I'm guessing about 3 kids in age group is kind of what we're going to experience. Also, we're going to ask kids who come into the environment to sanitize their hands. If they don't like hand sanitizer, we have a sink right over there. We're gonna tell them, okay, go wash your hands for 20 seconds. I think it's always good to give a little bit of option for people coming in, that if hand sanitizer is not for you, then we have hand washing. So there's always something in place that they can do to be prepared. Kids will not be required to wear a mask. That will be up to the parent's discretion. If a parent comes and wants their child to wear a mask, we're not going to say, well, they don't have to, but we're gonna follow what the parents, kind of what they want to do for their child. So if they feel that's safe for their kid, then that's what we'll do for them. Also, snacks, if we do give out snacks, they will all be individually wrapped. And if you wanna bring a snack for the kids, I just ask that you individually wrap them, put them in sandwich baggies at home before you come. I know it seems a little bit counterproductive or like a little bit odd, but it just goes to show again that we are trying to do our best due diligence. I can't talk this morning, too much coffee. Our due diligence and showing that we want to make sure everyone is safe, that everyone just touches their own snack. And I think it makes it easier on new volunteers, so you don't have to worry about having gloves on and all this kind of stuff to serve snacks. So that's kind of what I'm gonna ask, at least till the end of December, and we will kind of reevaluate from there. I'm really hoping by the end of December, January, we can be looking a little more normal, but I mean, what is normal now? So that's kind of where I'm going. All children will be previously pre-registered, so just like we register online for church service, there will be different ticket types now for preschoolers, for elementary kids, for junior youth. Parents will just sign up which kids are coming, and then as soon as tickets are out for that service, then those are the kids that come. So if we find that our RSVP, like I said, is full by the first 2 weeks, then we know parents really want to get their kids back in here, so we will up the numbers. Yesterday we had a Remix team meeting. So Remix team members, I don't know if you know who they are. It's myself, Maria Unger, Darlene Martins, and Pete and Martha Dyke, and Anna Unger. We are the Remix team. They're kind of like my advisory team, and they help me with making decisions for children's ministry. And we had a meeting here last night, and they thought it would be a really good idea to have a little bit of a plan in place of a child if you notice they're getting sick. And I said, yes, thank you, I missed that. So we are going to have probably this last room in the fellowship hall here on the corner. Will kind of be like our isolation room. I don't like to call it that. Maybe the not feeling well room, we'll call it instead. Just so that if we notice someone is just not feeling well, because sickness can come on just like that, right? So then we will go in there. I will be the one to be with the child until their parent comes. We will be calling the parent right away as soon as we know, and then the parent will pick them up from there. So just so that you guys know kind of what the policy is for if someone is not feeling well. We won't be taking temperatures of children or anything like that. We're gonna leave that to the parents to do that at home, to do a little bit of a self-check, just like they would if they sent them to public school. You need to do a self-check before you go. So I'm asking parents to do the same thing for their kids here. Any questions about that or comments? Yes, those first 2 weeks might feel quite empty, and we might have, like, say, a ton of 6-year-olds and maybe one 10-year-old, or, you know, something like that. So those first 2 weeks, I'm just gonna ask that we all just be patient. And I know it kind of stinks that maybe if you had one kid in your class, but the reason why I am asking you guys to stick with your age group, and we're not gonna combine age groups, is because we want to show that we're trying our best to keep kids only exposed to 1 or 2 leaders that are in their age group. And I think if we can do that, and you know, we've kind of been doing that for 5 years already, right? Like, I've asked you as volunteers to be here every Sunday to be with your class. So not only does it have the integrity of kind of like a cohort in a sense, but it's part of our mission, right? To build relationships with kids, to be here every Sunday. So actually that's going into my next point too. As a small group leader, I'm going to ask you to commit to being here every Sunday if you can, at least till December. Just because what I said, the integrity of the cohort, we only want to make sure we are introducing kids to one leader. But if it doesn't work for your family situation or work situation, which I know is true for some, that is okay. Until December, then I'm just gonna ask you to be part of the welcome team, or part of bringing kids to their classrooms, or helping me with administrative stuff, getting stuff ready for the next Sunday, stuff like that. So does that kind of make sense? Yeah, and I think the higher that we make our capacity, so hopefully by the end of October, then we'll have more consistent class sizes with every age. Yep. We are sticking at the 10:30 time. I think that time is best for most parents. If we find that once we're at the full 30% capacity and registration is still like capping out at the top, the board suggested that we do another service in the 9 o'clock service, in the German service. So we'll explore that when that comes. I have a feeling it probably won't happen. I know there's quite a few parents that are a little bit reserved, so maybe it will take till January before that might be an option. And hopefully in praying that our 30% capacity goes up. I don't know, we'll see. It all depends on the people up there. All right, and then you as volunteers, what I'm asking of you guys is to do your screening in the morning before you come to church. If you take your temperature at home, that is good. I'm not gonna record it. You don't have to record it. It's totally up to you. You know how you feel. You know what a fever feels like, right? So I'm asking you to, if you do feel ill at all, just stay home. Don't feel the pressure to come because maybe there won't be someone to your class. We'll find someone. I think if we rely on the side of caution in that sense, it will help us in the long run to make sure that we stay home if we're not feeling ill. And I feel like that's just common sense. I don't know, but just so that you guys know that there's not an expectation that you have to come regardless how you feel. Also, we're gonna ask you to either hand sanitize or wash your hands before you come in too. And also, if you participate in COVID testing, we just ask that if you do get a positive, you let us know so that we can do contact tracing with your small group. I think that's the only time that we would do contact tracing because we, as a board, they decided to do contact tracing if you are in close contact with someone for more than 15 minutes, I think. Was it, John, 15 or something like that? 15 minutes. And so in your small group, obviously you're gonna be in close contact with your kids for more than 15 minutes. So that's the only place those are the only kids that we would call. And know that the Board of Elders and myself, we have your backs. You do not have to do the legwork of calling people. There's probably already enough stress on you if you have it. Your name won't be released. We'll just say someone in this small group has got COVID. Just because I don't want a family member coming back to you and saying mean and nasty things to you. And if ever that were to happen, someone from like a parent or a sibling coming at you because you're the one who had it and how dare you, I would ask you not even to reply to them. Tell the board and our church board chair will deal with that situation because I feel like it's just a matter of when we're all gonna get it. So I think we just need to be gracious with each other. And I'm thinking the parents will be gracious, but it would hurt my heart so much for that to happen to one of you guys because this is all volunteer for you. And this is passion for you, right? Like this is something that you love to do. So yeah, so know that we have your backs and we will be here for you. So please don't feel guilty in any way. All right, I think that's almost all. I have one more point, and I think it's a point you've all been waiting for. Do volunteers have to wear masks or face coverings? And we did talk about this at the board, and we talked about it at length, and the answer for right now is yes. Yes, we will have to wear some kind of mask or some kind of face covering. And the reason being, we cannot make sure that you are 6 feet apart from the kids. So it just is what it is. And if there's a reason why, like medically you can't wear one, or another reason why, you can talk to me, you can talk to the church board chair, and the board was okay if there's something that you can't wear a mask, that you can wear a face shield. So there is another option, but yeah, run it by me, run it by the church board chair and see what they think. It's not ideal because the face shield is all open at the bottom in a sense, but there are lots of face shields you can buy that are a little bit longer or can help with the spread of things. And let's go on, perfect. And so with all these changes in the ministry that's happening, in faith, know that we as a Remix team, board and staff have been having tons of discussion and keeping you guys in mind, keeping our kids in mind, keeping parents in mind. And yeah, we know it looked different than it did before, but we know that a lot of ministry can be done. And I know there's kids just waiting to come back to Sunday school so they can see their friends, so they can see you guys because they know they are loved by you guys. So there is a ton of ministry that can go on, even though it may look a little different. Are there any questions in the chat at all? No? All Are you sure? Anyone on Zoom? No? No questions? At all? Anybody here have any comments? Yep. So I'm hoping by mid-September, then I'll have those things signed up for. And I think by the time we have our first RSVP, I'm going to know how many small group leaders I need. So I'm thinking 1 per class for now, just because numbers are going to be so low. But I think with some of the little kids, we might need 2, depending on how many kids there are. So yeah, I'll let you know. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then I'll have it ready by mid-September. Good question. I did miss it. So right now we are going to suspend large group. So what's going to happen is each small group is going to get a fancy smart TV, and we've been approved to get one for each classroom. Sorry, people on Zoom. So I'm going to do the children's programming and put it on YouTube for the people that are watching at home, and that's the same thing that you're going to be watching in your small group. So in a way, it will kind of unify both groups of people in a sense, because what you're watching at home is what you're experiencing it's in church at small group. So it will kind of be like live, but not really, because it's pre-recorded. But yeah, it will all be on YouTube, and I'll let you guys know how to find that. It's super easy. Do you run kids? And it should be pop up. Yeah. So right now, I think with how small our percentages are, I'm going to ask one of you to be the consistent volunteer. Yeah, it all depends on how many kids show up for that class, right? So I'm thinking 1 for now. Hopefully by the end of the end of October, November, we can see if there's a lot of interest for kids to come. And if there is, then we'll up those numbers, and hopefully our classes will get a little more than just 2 or 3 kids coming at a time. Yep. Yeah, if the RSVP is full, then they would probably just go under general admission and stay in the service with their parents. Yeah, I'm really hoping they take the RSVP and do the ticket types, and I'm gonna try my best to communicate that well so that parents know how to do that, and so that they for sure get their kids where they want them to be. I think I'm still gonna pack those busy bags that are in the sanctuary for kids to take if they are in the service as well. So there will be something for them too. Not yet, we don't. So as of off the top of my head, if you've told me that you want to move up with your kids with the same age, then that's where you're penciled in right now. I'm going to need 3-year-old small group leaders and 6-year-old small group leaders. So those who haven't told me that you want to move up in your group, you're just kind of sitting in a where you want to go folder right now on my computer. So yeah, if you can let me know where you want to be in September. 6-year-olds and 3-year-olds, I don't have any names as of right now. So right now, our thought for sign-in, so a question was asked, how is sign-in gonna look, is if any parents coming here to bring their kids to Sunday school, they're gonna park in the side parking lot over here. They're gonna come in through the side entrance. There's already gonna be dots lined up basically for how many people that are come. And I'm gonna ask, because the cafe is probably gonna be closed for a long time, I'm gonna ask that in the cafe will be kind of like 3 sign-in stations, so they can go to their sign-in station and then come into the environment. Yeah, because the main reason is they get their code for their name tag, and that way we can contact parents easily too. And it also helps us because we've even noticed on Sunday mornings those who have RSVP'd, a lot of them just have not showed up. So this will give us a good kind of indication of how many people sign up to actually showing up on Sunday morning too. It'll give us good attendance. So with our program right now, I can send a QR code to their email, and they can either put it on their phone or print it, and they can scan it when they get here Sunday morning, or whoever's at the check-in desk, they can do it for them. So it'll be hands-free for them, but just the volunteer there will be in charge of that station. Yep. Yeah. So I would say anything where there's like uncontrolled coughing, or you hear that like barking coughing where it's coming from the lungs, like not just like a ahem kind of cough, or if you see a lot of like nice green snot running down their nose, like the telltale signs of more than just a seasonal allergy, I would say. I'll have a little more details once we are opening, but I am thinking about that just so that you guys know as volunteers too, to know when to kind of call the line.